Hi, welcome to the Small Shed. This week I'm going to start a new project and that's coming up next. Hi, well it's the 11th of November, Remembrance Sunday, and I've got about a month to build a play area for my grandchildren. It's going to be some swings and a slide and one or two other things that youngsters of 3 and 4 can get up to mischief in. Now there's a bit of a start being made in as much as my son-in-law's already got a slide which we think will be suitable. So that solves part of it, it's just the rest of the construction. I'm going to build it very much as I've built the shed here, in CLS timber and corner posts of 90 by 90 timber as well. And it's sort of construction that I've been using for probably getting on for a year on this building, so I'm reasonably comfortable with it. What I've done is to build a small, well, I'm about to build a small model. Whereas I've built it in my brain and been designing it for a couple of months or more now, it probably makes it a bit easier for you to see and understand what it is I'm doing if we actually look closely at what I'm proposing in model form. Now this is the sort of thing that the grandchildren are expecting, and this is the sort of thing that we've got a budget for. So there's got to be a degree of compromise in here somewhere, but we just see how it looks when we start to put the things together. There are 4 corner posts of, roughly speaking, 90 by 90. It's a fence post, 2.4 metres long. This is about a 10th scale model. There'll be a floor panel which will be a bit more beefed up than that with CLS timber supporting decking, and then the posts will go at each corner on that. Really what I've done basically is to copy some of the proprietary things that are around on the likes of eBay. Let's get them. It's likely to be bolted together. I'm still just trying to get my head round where the bolts will fit. It'll be bolts and threaded inserts. So with any luck we'll get 4, hopefully more upright than I've got here, uprights. And that will form the bases. Now I'm building pretty much a standardised panel. That's an example of it. The rest of them are just bits of card to give an idea. It effectively is a doorway. It's a 1 metre by 1 metre panel. It's divided in half, effectively a doorway, and then there's a panel at the bottom and a window area. And they will go, again, bolted in between the uprights. Now there will be 4 of those, so we start with the ground floor. I'll just tack them in with a bit of a glue because I don't want it all to completely disintegrate when we get further on. Will effectively form the ground floor of it, and it will give them a bit of a den to go and play in. Oh, that's where the problem is. That one isn't sticking. That corner isn't sticking very well. Now, some of the things that I'm doing will be developed later on. They probably won't all get done in. Right, so that's that one, and that can go in there. That's one of the mock-ups. So that will form the tower, which I think will be reasonably substantial in itself. Not quite sure how it's going to anchor down to the ground yet, because it depends. They're on reasonably sandy soil where this is going. So it may be that there'll be a post going down in that it'll be bolted to, or some ground anchors, something like that. We'll play that one by ear. It may need a concrete base under each pad. And then to finish it off, there will be a roof structure. At the moment it'll be a flat roof structure just of timber work to keep it rigid. I'm not quite sure yet again whether or not we'll put a pitched roof over the top and make it again into a small house up top. I don't know. That's again to be thought about. So coming out of it there will be the slide. These are designed generally to come out at about 900 or 1.2 meters high. The one we have is 1.2. So that will come out from that deck there, and hopefully, being a proprietary glass fibre slide, just bolt onto the outside bearer. But again, with all that timber work around, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. To get into the place, there will be a set of steps which will go up to the first floor. So that is starting to use up all of these openings on the upstairs area. That will go into the opening there. So there'll be a flight of stairs to go up to there. And then that gives them the basic slide. Now, to stop them falling out of the other two openings, there will be on one elevation the swings. Now at the moment they're going to go pretty much like that into an opening, but given their young age at the moment, it will probably just be blocked off at the moment. I'm trying to make this a little bit future proof so that when they get older they'll be able to use the monkey bars. At the moment we're going to have, sorry I've got this the wrong way around, that's the way it should go around, I thought it was a bit low. There's going to be swings hanging from one of the bearers, one of the runners on this at high level. So there'll be a pair of swings in there running back and forth, and in the short term those stairs there will be blocked out altogether. Can't quite see it at the moment, but let's just move it forward a bit, move the camera, it's easier, it's better. So in the short term the stairs will probably be blocked out so they can't use it, and they'll use the swings. Longer term they'll be able to have those climb up there, swing on monkey bars and go into the top area through that opening, but in the short term I'll probably have that opening blocked off anyway. I've also got some scramble netting that appeared on one of the earlier videos, I think. I may do something that hangs the scrambling net down sideways with a plank or something across it that way, so that they could go back and forth across there. It'll be a bit wobbly, but it'll be safe for them because they'll be contained within the scramble netting. So that leaves one opening effectively that hasn't got anything in it, and that's around this side. It's flexible for other things. When they get a bit older we'll probably have some sort of climbing wall so that they can either climb up that panel and then go sideways into there, and again short term that will be blocked off because they're too young to be climbing on climbing walls 8 foot in the air. So that's the principle of it. There will have to be a solid wall underneath where the swings are in that doorway. So the underneath, there'll be 2 windows perhaps on that one, and that'll have a panel that'll bolt in, because the last thing you want when people are on swings that way is a child coming out that way into them. So that will deal with that one. They will access the downstairs through that one, or both. And again, the whole thing is left a little bit loose in that panels can be screwed in, because it's basically just a framework of 3 uprights, 2 top and bottom rails, and then an intermediate on one side. It allows you to build panels to just screw in any way you want. So that's the idea. That's what we've got to build. There's not a huge amount of work in it in terms of cleverness, because it's big lumps of timber bolted together. Where it becomes a pain, from what I found with the shed, is that when you do one of those, you've got to do 8 times all the while, and it's going to be that's going to be the biggest problem, I think. So the first thing I've got to do is to take about 25, 26, 27 lengths of CLS timber and cut them all to appropriate lengths. Those will be 1 metre, and those will be 1 metre just less top and bottom rails. And I'll probably do that at Menin Sheds. I've got the chop saw here, and I can chop 2.4 metres in here, but it's just at the moment I still haven't got the dust extract sorted, so I shall probably be working over there to get the main parts cut, and then I'll come back and pocket hole all the panels to screw them together. And once that's done, there's very little really. Once you've got those 8 panels made, these uprights are just solid timbers that we've already got. It's only a matter then of jig drilling some sockets in them to be able to just put 2 bolts in either side to hold it all together. And then there'll be the roof, the floor, and the middle floor area to make. So there's 3 floors to build. Sounds a lot, doesn't it? Monkey bars and swing area and the steps. So it breaks down into reasonably easily bits that I can just do one at a time. Obviously the main thrust at the moment is to get the panels made and drilled so that they will all bolt together to form the main structure, then the floors, then I'll worry about the steps and the monkey bars. And if we don't get there with one or the other, you know, if that's done last, it doesn't matter, they'll still have a slide to play with, and I suspect they won't be playing with it on Christmas Day anyway, because it will need a site clearing and putting up and all that sort of thing. Well, that's as far as I'm going with the video this week on the design. That's sorted all of that. I would normally run these things on week after with the build now, but unfortunately this next few weeks is going to be a bit fractured by holidays, and there's a 6-month review of the channel coming up as well, so it'll be a bit fragmented, I'm afraid. So it'll probably be a week or so before I get around to actually building the wall panels, building the floors and the roof, and on with further builds. I think there'll probably be about 4 videos in the series, but apologies if they get a bit fractured. And look forward to seeing you next week, and hope to see you then. Bye.